If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Before I get started on today's video, I want everybody to understand I realize there are solutions to everything I'm going to talk about today. But if you don't know what the problem is, it is hard for you to implement the solution. So that's why I talk about these things. So if you decide to come out here, you have information to make the best possible decision. But I do want to go through some scenarios of a campground in a national forest. We're not talking about BLMs. There's plenty of videos out on BLMs, and everybody tells me, oh, you can come out here and be completely isolated. Yeah, well, every time I watch a video, all I see is groups of caravans and, a bunch of people together and LTVAs. I'm sure you can get isolated, but I've also heard, that there's just as much traffic out there as there is in a national forest. Just like in my videos where I show you some of the difficulties of this lifestyle, and the other YouTubers are telling you how great it is, come on out here, everything's so easy. There may be some exaggerations when it comes to how isolated you can be out in the BLMs. In a national forest, you can find spots out in the forest just like this that you can camp in. But the thing is sometimes the roads are pretty treacherous. You can drive on this road. It will allow you to drive on it. And you can get to spots down the road where you can park and camp. That is legal. You have to park 100 feet away from the road. And they do request that you try to camp where somebody has camped at before. But as I told you, you take your Class A or your Class C down this, or even your truck, it's quite the experience. You got all your stuff inside your camper, and all this bouncing around and rocking around and spinning out. All your things start to get to sloshing around and moving around and falling down and breaking. So you do try to minimize how many back roads you take with it. The National Forest gives you what is called, dispersed camping locations. Campgrounds. Now, I know a lot of people, when they hear the word campground, they assume it's this elaborate system of water and trash, but it's not. If they have water, it's going to be a spigot, 100 yards away from where the RVs are parked, and they put that spigot way over there so nobody hooks their camper up to it and just uses it for their own personal use. And some of them do have trash cans, but in my experience, most of them don't. Most of them don't have water either. You'll find some that are absolutely dead. You won't see anybody in them. Hawk Campground in West Virginia. It's in the George Washington National Forest. There was hardly anybody there. I think they had like 10 specific spots you could camp. Really nice camp spots. But there was maybe 1 or 2 people there at any given moment. But here in Florida, they don't give you anything. Just a large area that you can park on. So, and it's pretty full. One of the things I'd like to point out to you is all week long, everybody has stayed themselves, been a very relaxed environment, no noise, generators off well before sunset, 8, 8:30, sometimes 9. But on the weekends, they tend to, party it up. And I'm not talking about the RVers. This is when the locals come out to have some good time, come out and... See, here's the thing. People have different definitions of camping. Some people think when you come out in camping, you come out for the peace and quiet and relaxation, and then others will come out because it's time for a good time. Big fires, loud engines, the truck engine, rawr, all night long. And then, of course, they got their music playing, and they're drinking, so that means they're getting louder by, every couple minutes. And by midnight, they may start winding down, midnight, 1 o'clock. So this is something that you got to be aware of when you come out here, that you're going to run into these things. Another issue that I've noticed a lot, and this is not with us, we're actually pretty discreet with our showers. A lot of people who live in their vans, I've noticed, really have an awkward time with their shower. And I saw a young girl do this once, and I thought, boy, I would hate to be in her situation. A young woman surrounded by a bunch of, you know, guys in a campground, and she put a basically a shower curtain outside the back doors of her van. So she was taking a shower, and you could see her legs, you know, from probably the knee down, and water coming down. So everybody obviously knew what she was doing. And I really felt like, you know, I wonder if that's a safe thing for her to do. Fortunately, there was a lot of people around when I saw her do it. So there may have been some safety knowing that nobody was going to cause any problems because other people are around. But it could be a serious concern if there were just a couple campers there. Another thing, and I've talked about this briefly one time before, as everybody knows, we just left Dad's house, and he lives in town. So in town, you start to release some of these cautions that you have while you're sleeping. So the first couple of nights, you hear a car drive by when you're at your dad's house, and you think, oh, what's going on? And then you realize, oh, wait, I'm in town. So over the next 2 weeks, even though you don't want to, you start to let your guard down. Well, then when you come back out to the National Forest and you hear a car, you wake up, and the first thing you tell yourself is, wait, I'm in town, it's okay, I don't need to worry about it. And then you realize, wait a minute, no, I'm not in town. And so, to me, I feel like I've lost minutes going through this process in my head of, am I safe, am I not safe? Is this something I need to worry about, or is it not something I need to worry about? So just 2 nights ago, sure enough, I heard a truck rolling through. I woke up and said, okay, I'm all right. You know, I'm at Dad's house. And it seemed like forever when I realized, wait a minute, no, I'm not at Dad's house. I'm in a national forest. What time is it? So I grabbed my phone, and it was 1:30 at night. Cars don't drive through the national forest at 1:30 at night. But by the time I got all this information packed into my head, the truck was gone. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.